7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Is she satisfied or dissatisfied? She is just a customer, just like everyone else. Like always, giving it to you raw and unedited. Over to you, the short one.
Hello. Welcome. It's the short one. As you can see, I'm in a good mood today, but looks can be deceiving. But let's just say, I think I'm hyper because I can't wait to tell you. Okay, I mean, it's not the first time ever, but it took me by surprise because I was in a very vulnerable state. But the short one experienced, should we call it indirect racism or indirect ignorance? I don't know what you want to call it, but it wasn't like N-word level, but it's juicy. It's a juicy one. So I hope I don't forget to add it, to mention it in my podcast at some point. But I've got my diary open, my Adrian Mole diary open. So hopefully I'll fit it in at some point. So anyway, so this week has been, let's say, interesting. It's been okay. It's been nothing to shout out to. But remember, this hyperness is because of my experience that I had today, but I can't wait to tell you. Anyway, so let's talk about when I went to Pizza Express. This is Pizza Express in Brent Cross Shopping Centre. Being someone who was brought up, I mean, Brent Cross Shopping Centre was my corner shop. And to me, it was like, you could always tell out of towners because they would all dress up, we're going to Brent Cross, let's all get dressed up. You could always tell local people because it was like, whatever you're wearing, you're there kind of thing. So, Pizza Express Burnt Oak, Pizza Express Brent Cross Shopping Centre. Now that's, for those that don't know, Brent Cross, you're not talking about the size of, what's those shopping centres? Westfields. Although Brent Cross, I think, was one of the first shopping centres. So still, a little baby size, little fetus size compared to Westfield. But to me, that's my corner shop. Don't ever disrespect Brent Cross. I knew Brent Cross when they had the wooden animals outside Waitrose. Waitrose was even my first ever job to have. And I remember one time I was looking so good. I had my hair in extensions and everything. So I was going out after work and I looked so fly. Oh my gosh. I was a proper fly girl. I was at the checkout and this old woman comes up to me. She goes, "Oh, I thought you were Whoopi Goldberg." That really destroyed my confidence. And I still remember that word. And I still remember the "oh" bit as well. Anyway, so for those that don't know, Brent Cross has got a eating floor. It's not like, you're not really spoilt for choice. You've got Pizza Express, you've got Burger King, and Pizza Express and Burger King are always empty. You've got Nando's that gets quite busy. You've got, Wagamama's, Press a Manger stuff and what have you. Anyway, so Pizza Express went in there and wasn't busy at all. I think there must have been, this is a huge Pizza Express. They've taken up a lot of space. They must have been about 4 or 5 tables with customers on it. So it wasn't packed. But I don't know if it was because I was starving. But boy, did that food take long to get to the table. My mum was talking to me, like, talking, yeah. And I kept saying, "Mum, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't function right now because now I'm in hangry mode And I'm sure there's another level of mode that comes after this where I've never encountered before. But all I know that any minute now, I'm going to get up and go and cook that damn pizza myself. Even if I come up with the margarita pizza with no toppings, I don't care. But I am starving. Like, literally starving. But they looked busy. For some reason, I don't know what they were doing, but they looked so busy. So it's not like they were just standing there, like, oh, let's put the pizza in the, I don't know, pizza oveny thingy. Let's just stand around counting sheep. No, they look busy. Even the waiters look busy. And I just thought, I don't know how they do this. I wish I knew how to do this, because sometimes with me, I always appear that I'm not doing anything. But these people had it to an art where they actually looked so busy. So I wasn't even blaming them. It was just a case of like, this pizza just needs to hurry up, because I'm about to go postal in here. When pizza eventually came, got it, as usual, small pizza. But I swear, maybe because I was young at the time, so I was a lot shorter than I am. But I remember Pizza Express, the pizzas used to be like massive. So if you ordered a pizza, it wasn't for one, you'd be sharing, like a family would share one pizza. But pizza came. Again, I always get my usual sloppy Giuseppe every time. Sloppy Giuseppe at Pizza Express. Pizza Express, sloppy Giuseppe. Got it, ate it. Was I full? Not really full, but you know what? It lined my stomach enough. Although I did get a bit of sharp pains about not too long after that, but I don't know, trapped wind, who knows? I've no idea. So that was that. But for Brent Cross, we only went there to eat. See, the joys of having Brent Cross as your corner shop. We didn't have to be like, oh, let's go to Pizza Express, and then we've got to go to this place. Now we've got to go to this place. Nope. Just went there, Pizza Express, and back. So later on that evening, because I was spending the night at my mum's house, and my cousin's there, and later on that evening, did we intend to go? I think my mum wanted bagels. Yeah, she wanted bagels. And the thing is, right, so Hendon, you've got like the big Jewish community. And let me tell you something, when it comes to their bakery, no one can touch it. Nobody can touch it. So if you want a good bagel, you have to go to a Jewish bakery. And when it's near Hanukkah, so that's towards Christmas time, the donuts, the jam donuts, all I'll warn you is don't eat them, because I want them all for myself. But the jam donuts, if you ever have a Jewish jam donut, you will never be able to be satisfied or eat any other jam donut, whether it's from Tesco, Asda, wherever, because again, those jam donuts, jeez. Anyway, so we went bagel hunting. First went to Brent Street to Mr. Baker's. Couldn't find a parking spot as usual. Brent Street's an absolute nightmare to park. And I wasn't in the mood to have some kind of road rage or anything like that, because I just thought, just going to get some bagels, blah, blah, blah. So I said to my cousin, you know what, let's go to Carmeli's in Golders Green. It's the same straight line of the road. Let's just go to Carmeli's. And for me, I love Carmeli's. Although there's other Jewish bakeries to choose from in Hendon, to me, Carmeli's is the birthplace. It's just an amazing bakery, open 24 hours, but you obviously have to, ensure when it's Shabbat and other Jewish holidays. But other than that, it's 24 hours. And I always find that the staff behind there, I don't know their religious status, but they seem, I think they're Eastern European, but I don't know their religious status, but they are so knowledgeable with the bakery stuff, and there's so much to choose from. Even no matter how old you are, you're just like, oh my gosh, I want that. Even the cheesecake, and it's got a big slab of cheesecake. But anyway, let's go back a bit. So approaching Golders Green, and I haven't been to Golders Green for, I'd say a little bit of a while. So driving through Hendon, everything's fine. The level of road rage is just at beat the horn level. Just beat the horn and stick 2 fingers up. That's the level it is in Hendon. And as you get into Golders Green, you have to upgrade that mode, right? That's when it's you leave your hand on the horn. So it's like a constant and as you're doing that, you're like literally cussing out the person's mother, father, grandparents, children, everything. Do you know what I mean? But they can't hear you because of the horn. Unless you've got a small car like mine where it's got a little So, but it's another level of driving Golders Green. It was just so chaotic. There was no sense of order. Because as you know, I like order. So it's constantly stop, start, stop, start, stop. Like my foot, automatic car, my foot was going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. But it was just like, But anyway, chaotic there. And even trying to find parking, because normally I always find that if I go to Carmeli's, if there's never parking on Golders Green Road, there's a little side road with a little synagogue there, and I tend to park there if the synagogue is not opening or closing. So I always manage to find parking there. Did I find parking there that night? Fuck no. So it's a tight little road. I have to do like 100-point turn and all this kind of stuff. Join the main road, look for parking. It was a nightmare. Most people would have given up, but I don't give up because it's Carmeli's. So I was like, like my cousin was like, let's try, Brent Street again. But in my head, I was like, no. We're doing Carmeli's. Once you go Carmeli's, you can never go back. There's a racial poem to that, isn't there? Oh, okay. Anyway, so, so once you go Carmeli's, you can never go back. So I was literally like, we're going to find parking. Even, I hate walking. When you park far and you got to walk far, I hate that. But for me, it's like, I'm so determined to literally just park as close as I can. Even if I have to park inside the shop without breaking any windows, I would easily do it. But, eventually found parking and skipped my way all the way to Carmeli's, but got the bagels, and there was, my cousin, she's been there before, but I don't think she bought anything, because it was the second time going there. But obviously being with myself, if you're ever with the ShortOne will always make you buy something. So I went into PR mode as if I was either sponsored by Carmeli's or I worked for Carmeli's. I went to proper PR mode. I was like, Carmeli's is 24 hours. And I was like, you got to get this. Because they had little, little finger cakes. I don't know what you call them, whatever. Little tiny little biscuits and little, whatever. Anyway, stuff that's great for if it's your birthday or you're doing a leaving thing at work. People just put their fingers and grab a piece and then it becomes unhygienic after a while. But yeah, so I was like, you got to get these chocolate things. They are so chocolatey. They're so good. And she was like, I'm trying to do this whole healthy lifestyle thing, because she's doing this whole healthy lifestyle thing. And I was like, listen, you're not going to put on 1,000 pounds or 1,000 stones just by eating it. It's so small. So she ended up buying one, and, it was just so good. Anyway, so got the bagels. So as we were leaving, she was eating. She was like, oh my gosh. She was like, how close is this from the station? And I was like, it's only a 2-minute walk. And I realized, I thought, you're going to come back here and get your little secret stash, aren't you? And then she was like, yeah. So I was like, great, yeah, Carmeli's. But, so now going back towards the car and everything. And, so when I park, I tend to like to park facing the direction I'll be going when I'm leaving. But because of the chaos and the adrenaline rush to get into Carmeli's, I had parked, so I had to do a 3-point turn or a U-turn, whatever you want to call it. So there was a car in front of me. It wasn't a long road or anything. There was a car in front of me in the middle. So I backed up, so I was facing the car. So I was thinking, okay, if this car moves at some point, I can just go all the way round and then meet Golders Green Road at some point. So like a C shape kind of thing, like a U shape or a C shape or shape, a moon shape, whatever. Anyway, whatever. So we're there sitting behind this car, and me and my cousin are chatting, so we don't notice like time flying by or anything like that. And I don't know if it was 3 days later, but we were still there. Then I was like, there's another car in front of it. And the other car was facing our direction. So both cars were facing each other. I don't know if you can picture this, but I'm very bad at describing things. But anyway, just nod your head. So they were both facing each other. And I was like, they're having a standoff. I think these people are having an actual standoff. So I was like, you know what? I'm not ready for standoff. So I had to do a 3-point, the intention was a 3-point turn, but ended up being like a 150-point turn. Like, it was just, I don't know, but because I was trying to avoid the standoff, and the car was approaching, and I was literally like, you know what? Just turn back, just get back on that main road, because you ain't going nowhere. But anyway, did the 100-point turn, and that's when I saw a woman coming out of a car, and I think she was going to confront the other driver, but I just thought, it's taking you this long to actually just voice out your concerns, because they'd been sitting there for like a long time. But anyway, so everyone was happy. We did our U-turn, got home safely. My cousin got her chocolate fix, and hopefully I've ruined her healthy lifestyle. But yeah, so Carmeli's is so good. See, you even get entertainment and drama before you go, after you leave. Carmeli's is everything. Absolutely everything. So anyway, take a little break. So I'm the short one. Don't forget to go on the website, www.iamjustacustomer.com. Twitter at @IamJustAcustomer. Facebook, look me up at I am just a customer. Why can't I speak? I've been a victim of indirect racism or indirect ignorance. I don't know what it was, but I don't know what you'd call it. But anyway, I can't talk. So anyway, and check us out on Instagram as well at I am just a customer. So it's really weird because London's like a magnet. It doesn't want you to leave. Whenever I go to London, it's like, oh, I've got to go back to St. Albans. Oh, can't be asked. So eventually, obviously I do make it out of London. And for the first time ever, London to me is one style of driving. London in Hertfordshire, including St. Albans, is a different style of driving. And both sides are different ends of the spectrum. London driving, there's a lot of swearing involved, a lot of blood pressure, a lot of anxiety. It's chaotic. I find that when you go into Hertfordshire, it's more serene, it's more calm, it's fine. But when I was literally on the M1, came up at Junction 6, every roundabout I approached where I was about to join, there was a shithead who was in the wrong lane. And rather than saying, oh, excuse me, love, or excuse me, whatever they say, I'm in the wrong lane. Can I just go in front of you? No. It's like, I don't give a shit about you. I'm just going to cut you up at the roundabout. So, it was literally every single roundabout. But I made it safely, which is good. But can I just say something? Stay in your fucking lane. If you're in the wrong lane, I've been in the wrong lane before, and yes, I've been the one that cuts you up, but that's different. That's me. That's the short one. Don't do it to me or anyone else. So also this week, it's been a bittersweet week. So I was trying to get some sleep, and I've got that Sky News app where it does the breaking news and everything. And I was trying to get some sleep. And then I heard the Sky News app breaking news. And I thought, oh gosh, has Vladimir Putin admitted to that poison? Because if he has, all that hoo-ha was for nothing. No, Craig Mack had died. Craig Mack, Flavour in Your Ear. I mean, he hasn't had a song out for a long time, but I remember when I was younger, Craig Mack, he made me have some dance moves on the dance floor, and wasn't an attractive guy, but that doesn't matter. He had the voice. So I was literally kind of, first of all, I thought, well, let me just check on TMZ, because, I always go for TMZ or TMZ to make sure that my facts are correct. So, and I thought, oh gosh, he's dead. Oh, and I thought, but no one's going to know who he is. Like, no one's going to know who he is. Even people who are older than me, are they going to remember Craig Mack? Flavour in your ear. Like, here comes a new flavour in your ear. Yeah, new flavour in your ear. But, yes, I was a bit sort of like, oh, great, I'm not going to sleep now because Craig Mack is dead. I wasn't saying like I was a huge fan. I mean, it wasn't like Prince. Prince, I was like completely, whew. Anyway, I don't want to get into that one. But, I still can't even listen to a Prince song today. But it kind of just thought, oh gosh. And then literally 45 minutes later, 30 minutes, I don't know, I wasn't keeping time check. Stephen bloody Hawking. Whew. Let's just say my heart broke. My heart broke. Those that know me, i.e. my family, and probably some others I've told, but I've always said I had a little crush on Stephen Hawking. And people are like, oh, you're sick. I'm like, how am I sick? You're the sick one. Why? Because he's in a wheelchair. It's like, you can't be fancying. But I always had a crush on Stephen Hawking, and I was just devastated. You know, and the thing is, I know it sounds stupid, but Stephen Hawking was never going to die. I mean, he was meant to die many years ago with his condition, and he survived. I mean, his voice was a robot. He was never meant to die. I mean, I was wanting that opportunity when we have a romantic dinner together and he finally explains to me what the hell he's talking about. Because I've got no fucking clue what that guy talks about. But I just thought, just like Prince, oh geez, it's going to open up wounds again. I can't talk about Prince. But just like with Prince, you know, he never got to meet me. We never ever got to have that wedding I'd planned. But with Stephen Hawking, that affected me. Because Stephen Hawking wasn't meant to die. He just wasn't meant to die. And, you know, the intelligence of his genius, I don't even think that was a proper English I just used just then, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck? Stephen Hawking's dead. And Craig Mack. But to me, it's like, he was our generation of Einstein. Are we going to get anyone else like that again in our lifetime? Probably not. Yes, there might be some other guy from somewhere who will be all, you know, oh yeah, black hole, relative of time and all this kind of shit. But I don't give a fuck. I don't want to know about all that kind of stuff. You're just a man in a suit. You're not Stephen Hawking. He's been through a lot of shit. He's been married twice. Right? He's been married twice. And he, even though his voice was monotoned, that guy seemed like the guy who would be the life of a party. Can you imagine our wedding? He'd be there wheeling himself to all the guests, all my family, and saying, you know, I love your daughter, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it broke my heart. It broke me, and I suffered in silence. I think I only aired it out to a few people, but, you know, Stephen Hawking, another one that didn't get that chance to meet me. And that really pissed me off. Oh, and Jim Bowen died as well. But the thing is, I don't know, you know, since the whole, when it comes to certain celebs when they die, I've got this thing now, I mourn their death after 6 months. Reason being because I think I was one of the many millions of people that mourned Jimmy Savile, you know. So, and then after that, every single person of my childhood in terms of presenters and stuff, end up being pedophiles or pedophiles in things. And I made a thing to myself that, you know what, the short one, when certain celebs die, give it 6 months. Let stories come out, then stories come out, not to mourn. If nothing comes out, like Keith Harris, then you can mourn it. You don't feel the shame. So yeah. So then Jane Byrne died. And then we got snow. But we'll talk about the snow in a minute. So don't forget, let's start again. This is why I love raw and unedited. Imagine if I was a professional, you wouldn't have heard that at all. At all. And notice how my stammer's gone, or my stutter's gone. Anyway, so iamjustacustomer.com. Twitter, I'm just a customer. Facebook, I am just a customer. And Instagram, I am just a customer. Do you get it? I am just a customer. Because who is the short one? She is just a customer. I am just a customer. You are just a customer. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell small businesses. Listen to the podcast of the short one. I am just a customer. Because you will learn firsthand, raw and unedited, what it's like to be a customer. I mainly go for big chains and slash them, and also give them props sometimes. But for me, that's how the small people, which I hate to say, but I'm short, so I'll say small people, in terms of business, can learn the mistakes of the big guns, so you can thrive and you can take back the high street, because it pisses me off when you get chains that take over the high street. Anyway, so we've got a bit of snow. So I wasn't prepared for this snow because I wasn't. For some reason, leading up to the time, I wasn't interested in the whole weather report. And all I remember was there was snow. But that's fine. Because you know what? I didn't have any supplies. So I had to go out in the snow. But at least it wasn't like heavy. But I had my hood up with my fur around it. I had my trolley with me. I had my trolley with me. But I was all warm and cozy underneath. Even though when I did look at my reflection, I did see the Sasquatch. I was like, shit, there's the Sasquatch. Oh no, that's me. But I didn't care. But one thing I'll say is, when I went to Tesco, there's a lady, female, working at the checkouts by the name of Joanne. Shout out to Joanne, who went above and beyond. Number one, she saved my life. Number one, she saved me from going to hospital and getting salmonella. And I don't know if you can die from salmonella, but she saved a lot from me. And if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast. And also, she saved me from having the shits or even vomiting, because I bought some chicken because, let's just say, the butcher didn't have any chicken. So I was forced to go and buy chicken from Tesco's. So I bought some chicken, and when she went to zap it through the zapper, she noticed there was a massive hole. How I didn't see that hole, I don't know. And I was like, because I thought, I can't be bothered to go all the way back to go and change it. She was like, oh, I'll go and do it for you. Next minute, she just jumped up from her seat, disappeared, came back, and it was like a ballet thing. She wasn't doing ballet or anything like that, but she was just like floating, and she almost knocked in, stutter's coming back. She almost knocked into somebody, and she kind of like pirouetted, and she came back with my thing. I was like, thank you. And she's like, no, it's mine. I was like, no, thank you. You know what? It was just that little moment of meeting the customer's expectation that made me actually think, I actually like you. Like, not like I want to become best friends and stuff, or be Facebook friends, but it's just like, I left there thinking, this is what I'm talking about. All my podcasts about Tesco, Joanne needs to be, I don't know, I'd say probably the manager of the store, and let everyone do it her way. Because, let's just say, just that one bit, to you might think, well, no, she didn't have to do that. She had a bell to press to do that. She could have pressed the bell. We could have sat there for hours and hours waiting for someone to say, oh, you're right. Then, oh, can you get this? It's got a hole in it. Oh, okay. You know, and so, oh, fucking hell, I've got to go all the way to the back of the store. Tesco, Metro. I'll go all the way back to the store and then go into this bloody chicken, you know, and come back with attitude. No, she went and did it herself. So props to her. Whew, so I was walking today in the town centre and there was right in the middle, there was a fridge freezer, old chair and some mess, and there was a couple of police and some couple of, I don't know, council people, I guess, as in council, as in working for the council. And I don't know why I had to explain that. But anyway, I remember thinking, like, I was talking to my mum on the phone, I was like, oh mum, something's going on in St. Albans, I'm going to take a picture of this. And I took a picture and I got caught. I always get caught. The woman comes, oh, you're taking a picture of this? And I thought, shit, I've been blatantly caught. She's actually calling me out on this. And I went, yeah. That was me saying I'm guilty. That's how I do it. Yeah. And she goes, oh, we're just doing a promotion about fly tipping. And then she handed me a leaflet and it's like a demonstration of fly tipping and everything. So I thought, oh, okay, so my picture was useless and getting caught and shitting myself. I don't know why I started shitting myself. But yes, that was it. So, let's do another advert. So don't forget, find me on Facebook at I Am Just a Customer, Twitter at I'm Just a Customer, on the website www.iamjustacustomer.com. On the website, you will see that you can listen to the iTunes on various platforms. There's direct links to that. If you do listen to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher or any other platform, if there's an opportunity for you to review or to subscribe, follow, whatever it is, whatever they use, please do that. Show your support. Show your love. I don't do this just for, as a hobby and just to rant. Of course I do. That's a bullshit I just told you. So that's the first bullshit I've told you so far. But literally, again, tell your friends, spread it around, spread the word, you know, comment, send me an email, tell me I'm shit at podcasting or whatever, or tell me I'm the most amazing person and you find my podcast really funny, and you wish you were my best friend. And then I can be like, go away, you stalker, you. I only stalk Stephen Hawking and Prince and somebody else, but they're too controversial for me to say their name. But someone else that's big, but they're too controversial, so I'm not going to mention it on the podcast. So the moment has come. Okay, I don't know what you want to make out of this, but alright, firstly and foremost, I haven't slept for like 2-3 days so far, because I have insomnia problems, whatever. So, went to the GP the other day, gave me some new prescription tablets. So yeah, I'll give them a go. I said, okay, fine. They didn't work at all. So I was up for 48 hours, let's call it. So, this morning, I went to the GP, but I saw another GP, and I was, let's just say, in a daydream mode. You know, when it's kind of, everything seems like a dream, everything seems surreal. She called my name, I went in there, and it was so warm in there, and it made it worse, because I was feeling I wanted to sleep, but I knew it wasn't sleep. So anyway, I sat on the chair, and I kept slumping further and further down the chair, and my eyes were going all over the place because I was so hot in there. But, so she asked me what's the problem. I said to her that, look, these tablets haven't worked, you know, I've tried them on for 2 days. They're not working. As you can see, I look fucked right now. Some people will probably think I'm high on some kind of, you know, illegal drug or something. but I'm not high. I just I haven't slept for 2 days. So the GP then says to me, so, are you religious? Now, I'm in a vulnerable state. I'm just literally about to, I don't know. I'm seeing unicorns at this point, and I'm thinking, so I said to her, I was like, look, it used to be. So she goes, oh, so your family are Christian? No, she goes, oh, no, yeah, she goes, your family Christian? I goes, yeah. And she goes, is your mum Christian? And I was like, yeah. Now, normally, I'm very feisty, I'm very quick. We would have got to the bottom of these questionings, like, within a zap. But I hadn't slept for 48 hours. And I was so vulnerable, I can't even describe it, living like in a surreal, like everything was a dream, like is everything real, and what's that unicorn looking at me and giving me dirty looks for in the corner, what's that dodo following me, you know, all these kind of things. And then she goes, oh, does she go to a black church? Like, since I said yes, my mum's Christian, she's like, oh, does she go to a black church? And I thought, what the fuck? Right? And I was like, no, she doesn't go to a black church. She's a Baptist. But I don't understand why we're going through this conversation. And then she was like, did your dad go to church? Was that a black church? And I thought, you see, this is what I don't get. GPs, we need them. You know, like, if you're ill, got a GP, everything. They do good jobs. Good GPs do excellent jobs. They refer you to things, all this kind of stuff. Brilliant. I've got no problems with GPs. When I hear on the news that, people have to wait like weeks and weeks to get an appointment. Yes, I've been those kind of person who had to wait for another appointment, not weeks and weeks, but probably like a week later, and probably by that time I'm cured. But I remember sitting there, but I couldn't voice it out to sort of think, you're asking me if, like, each member of my family, so one by one, if they are religious. And then you wait for my answer, which eventually comes out to yes. Then you then say, was it a black church? Now, me in this state, in this vulnerable state, and I hate being in a vulnerable state because to me it's like, I need to call you out on this. I need to put you straight, but I can't get my words out. Right now I can't fight for myself. I'm in this bubble that I can't burst out of. And then she said, oh, my son in Plymouth, Portsmouth, whatever, begins with a P, he goes to those churches where, the ones where they hire, I don't know, a college room or something, and they sing loud and clap their hands. So obviously she's describing a stereotypical black church right now to me. And the woman didn't get it because I wasn't participating in this conversation, because the thoughts in my head was like, bitch, if you were any younger, and I had this, and I just got 5 minutes sleep before I got this would have ended differently. So I just sat there, watched her and listened to her. And then she made a point, which I guess was what she was wanting to say. My daughter is married to a Nigerian preacher. And at that point, I just got up and walked out. And, well, I was like a drunk person. I was knocking the chairs down. And the GP doors, they've got those stupid fire doors. Because I wanted to make a proper diva statement and slam the door, but I couldn't slam the door because, you push it and it goes like, hey. That's it, closing really slowly. And then click. But I remember I got out and I got that cold air hit my face. And I thought, what the fuck was that all about? not only has this GP insulted me, but at the same time, the length of time I was sitting in that chair being the subject of having black skin and proudly having black skin, I think I took the places of 2 more appointments. I swear I was in there, including my appointment, 3 appointments. And I remember just thinking, firstly I was thinking, there, keep walking faster, just get some air. But I remember just thinking, what a sick fucking sad world that we live in. What a fucking sick fucking country we live in. What a sick fucking area we live in. What road we live in. What street we live in. What door number we live in. To the fact that it's 2018. What has church or religion got to do with me but not sleeping for 48 hours? I would have got it. I would have understood it if she said to me, come and sit next to me. I've got the Bible. Let's sit down and go through each parable by parable by parable. But she didn't even have a reason of why she was asking me such questions. So when she mentioned her daughter being married to a Nigerian preacher, I walked out because I thought, you know what, I'm not your fucking black token where you can use me to ask black questions that you couldn't probably ask him or his family, right? So you can go fuck off, right? I will fucking deal with my own shit and book another appointment and hope for never to see your ass again. Years ago, I've complained about doctors, you know, not by the same thing. I've never experienced that kind of shit from doctors. But even with this one, I just think you've got me to that position where I think to myself, you know what? Should I give you a free pass? Because you talked about Christianity, which, you know, I used to be a Christian. I'm from a family of strong Christians. Am I giving you a free pass because you're not a Muslim and you never mentioned about Allah or said to me to read the Quran? Because can you imagine if she did do that? There would be a fucking uproar. But at the same point, I'm thinking to myself, you know what, the short one? Don't go fucking rogue. You know, because yes, you've got fucking arseholes that are out there. You've got people that are indirectly ignorant. But you know what? They shouldn't get a fucking pass for that because it's 2018. Right? And to me, that pisses me off a lot. So I hate it that every year I have to fucking justify the colour of my skin, the fact that I'm a proud African. You know, I always say to people, I was born an African, I'll fucking die an African. The in-between, I can deal with it, you know. But with shit like that, when it's a fucking GP, and I'm literally there, vulnerable, eyes going all over the place, and saying I haven't slept for 48 hours, but your concern is whether my family go to a black fucking church, and then we get to the bottom of it, the fact that your daughter has chosen, I guess, you know, the fact that you're not happy with it, for you to mention it, that your daughter is married to a fucking black preacher. That's none of my fucking business, right? Because, yeah, he's black, I'm black, what, you think we know each other? Fuck off. But, kind of glad I got that rant. It's been building up all day, because that happened today. But, you know, woo, it's really, that did piss me off. And, you know, people, businesses, shops are lucky that I don't tar every store with the same brush. So even if I was to go into an independent store and someone's like, are you looking for something? No, I'm just looking, and they're hovering around. I'm not one of those people that say, oh, she's hovering around because I'm black. I'm not one of those people. I'm 2018. I'm opening my eyes. Jeez, damn. But I'm not going to let this one woman ruin my St. Albans experience based on her as a GP whose job was for her to listen to my case and to do something about it. Not fucking ask me if my fucking family, each member one by one, she didn't even get to the stage of how many brothers and sisters have you got. Like, are they Christians? Do they go to a black church? Fuck off. And if they fucking did, which they don't, if they fucking did, how's it gonna fucking cure the fact that I haven't slept for fucking 48 years? See, I don't even know what year we're in. I feel like I haven't slept for 48 years. And to me, at least he should have ended the fucking Bible studies with us sitting down there and fucking going to the fucking parables, you know, and Jesus feeding the 5,000 fish and 2 breads, whatever it was, you know. Oh. So I think, so I'm just going to end it on a happier note. So I went to Boots today, and it was a really young, very good looking, pharmacist there. And I kept thinking, damn, pharmacists are getting younger nowadays. Or my kid's getting older. But, yeah. But I think I noticed it more because he was black. And that's what I hated about this woman. She's making me see colour. Like, that guy was just a pharmacist who's just doing his job. Whether it was a young black pharmacist was no relevance at all. But I have no idea what I'm going to do with this woman at the GP, as in terms of reporting or whatever. All I always want to do is just to fucking sleep. And on that note, love, peace, and fucking hair grease. If you've got a nice funky afro with your afro kinks and everything, fucking hair grease. I don't give a shit if it's Dax, the black one, which is really oily and greasy, or the green tub, which is very sort of, it disappears after a week, or the blue one, which I don't understand why it exists, because the oil doesn't even stay that long. So love, peace, and hair grease. I'm out of here.
Oh, this you crazy mother.